That's right. While I may have finished the Miata project, which was a huge project, I have been neglecting my other cars in a pretty disastrous way. Starting off with the Jeep has been my workhorse throughout the last year of my projects, including my house and my cars, and it is time to do a lot of work. So we're going to start with that. We're also going to check in with the 92 Accord Spider Wagon, and we still have some ongoing issues with the Miata. This is all going on the Jeep. Here we have a heater core, and inside we've got some AC seals, a complete reseal kit for the air conditioning, just in case I need it, because I do need to remove the evaporator core, which, by the way, is also on order. That's going to arrive at some point. I have a new dryer because I'm opening up the AC system. You're supposed to replace the dryer anytime you open it up. Kind of a bummer, but you see it's nice and shiny, so it'll add some bling to my engine bay. And then here is a shift boot and a bracket for the outer shift boot. So this thing slips on over just like we saw in the Miata, because it's torn on my Jeep. And this is the bracket that holds the outer rubber to the thingy itself. We also have a stereo. That's because the stereo on the Jeep is kind of falling apart. The auxiliary input, I had a Bluetooth thingy connected to it, and it kind of broke it. This one has Bluetooth built in. This is exactly the same head unit that I have in the Miata. I really liked it, so I decided to get another one for the Jeep. And so that's going to be a whole part of this dash project. Now, the reason I'm tearing apart the dash is because I have to replace the heater core. So I figured while I'm in there, I'm also going to replace the AC evaporator core and fix the stereo, and also fix the climate controls because the fan switch stopped working, which from my best understanding is this little doodad here. It's the resistor for the fan controls. So I'm really just kind of taking the whole dash apart, replacing whatever I can, and putting it all back together. Now, the dash on the Jeep is a lot of labor. You have to take out the entire dash. The insane part of this is that I still have to use this Jeep because I've got a house to work on across town. So that means I'm going to be driving this Jeep for a period of time with no dashboard. Yeah, I'm an idiot. So if you think removing an HVAC system on a Jeep TJ is the worst thing in the world, I just have one thing to say to you. Go get a Prelude. You'll learn some things. First off, I was really intimidated by this project because all of the forums and all of the instructional videos say this is the worst thing in the world. Oh my God, this is a grade A pain in the ass. Oh, I never want to do... Rah, 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 rah. It's not that bad. Guys, settle down. It's not that bad. Yes, it looks bad, and there's a lot of things in the way, and it's definitely a lot worse than it should be, but it's not that bad. All of the screws, all of the bolts on a Jeep are so easy to get to. This is child's play compared to what I've been through earlier this year with the Miata. And the Miata is easy to work on. So this isn't bad. There is a lot of fasteners, like a lot. And when I'm done with this, I'm probably going to have a handful left over because I don't think I'm going to remember where they all go. But it's not that bad. Not that bad at all. Come on. With that little rant out of the way, let's take a look at what we got here. All right. You see this pile of stuff here? You see that? That came out of this. This was completely full of garbage. So I'm glad I took that out. this thing mounted up to the firewall right behind the cylinder head of the engine, which, if you're a Jeep owner, oh, this is the worst thing I've ever had. Oh, this bolt is such a pain in the ass. Oh my, come on. Come on. There is you can live in here. I mean, rats do live in here sometimes, but I mean, you can literally sit on top of this engine and reach this. It's not like being in a Japanese car where you can't see where your hand is, you can't see what it is you're turning, and you can't fit anything up there. This, you can reach it. It's a little bit tricky. It's not as easy as that, but it's not that bad. Give me a break. So this bolts up here, and it's a little bit tricky to remove, but it's not that bad. Take that out, and it was full of crap. The real bummer here is that the foam at the top of this thing was completely gone. It came off in a bunch of pieces, and I'm going to have to figure that out. Over here, we have a big mess of crap that was inside the tube. This is actually why my heater This is actually why my heater core clogged up, because I thought I had maybe a blown head gasket and I ran block sealer and it just immediately clogged the heater core. So lesson learned, I'm never doing that again. Maybe I'll just do the head gasket. But I don't think I even need to do the head gasket. You see here on, by the way, my valve cover gasket is seeping a little. I should probably take care of that eventually. That's a different project for a different day. I got the whole thing out, and also I did it without completely removing the dash. I really didn't want to remove the steering column because I did that with a Miata. It's a pain to center up again, so I didn't want to pull it. And it turned out I didn't have to. So this gave me plenty of room to get this box out. Once I got the 5 bolts out of the firewall, it just kind of popped right out. So there was this bolt here on this bracket. Get the light. This here that I noticed after the fact. I had to pop that off. A couple electrical connections. Not a problem. I mean, this looks like a lot more work than it was. How long did I spend on this? Well, I've been off and on over the past couple of days. I'm really taking it easy. I am not rushing. And I think that's probably why most people have problems, is because either their Jeep was at the bottom of a lake, or they were trying to rush through something that could not be rushed. So I just kind of took my time. Whenever I got pissed off, I'd go inside, I'd watch a video, I'd go, do my day job. There was also that pesky little thing. So I think I'm in this probably a good, 3 hours. And here we go. So I have the new heater core, but I do not have the AC evaporator core. So that is coming in a few days, but that won't stop me from taking this apart and at least replacing the heater core. And we will check the condition of the evaporator core while we're in there. And there's one last thing. These lines for the AC evaporator were kind of a pain in the butt to remove. And all of the heater core videos, they had their AC lines cut off with a hacksaw. Well, I like my AC, and I intend to fill it back up and use it when I'm done with this. So I found a nice little handy guide on disconnecting these lines without cutting them and without having to go buy a tool. So you see this here? This is just the top cut off of a paint can. Where's the paint can? Right here. So I took a paint can and I just cut it. So this is the connection for the AC evaporator core from the AC line. And you see this piece of plastic here? This piece of plastic, you need to slip it behind the connection. And the idea is that you want to get the piece of plastic up underneath this spring here so you can help get it up over this lip. If you could do that, this thing will pop right out. This particular line came off really easy. The other one, I think it's because it's fixed in several locations, not as mobile, was a little bit more difficult, but it eventually gave, and I celebrated. It works. The first try. I'm gonna leave it like this for now, just because I have to put some things together, obviously, and I want to just wait until I get this new panel here. The other thing I've noticed here is that when I turn on the headlights, it doesn't dim. And since this is the same head unit that I put in my Miata, I can say with absolute confidence that when it's dark, this is going to be way too bright. So I got to figure something out here. I got a few options, especially considering this is my Jeep. I can really do whatever I want here. I just have to figure out what that is. I could also use the orange wire that came inside the car. I think I'm just going to use the orange wire that came with the car. I have no idea why this was not included in any of these harnesses, but I'll figure something out. I'm not sure why Chrysler Jeep decided to do this, but the only way to remove the shift knob is to destroy the shift knob. First I tried to remove this little center cap here. Once I started to destroy the shift knob, I decided, hell with it, grabbed my channel locks, wrapped it around this thing and twisted it off. This had to have been on there with 1,000 pound-feet of torque because it was just nuts removing it. So that means I get to order a new shift knob. In the meantime, I guess I'm going to trim this off and just use it as is. It is not going to be comfortable, but whatever. I'll address that later. I got everything else in though. I've got the radio in, it works, the dimmer works. I have the fan wired back up because I was branching it off of the radio switched power. I am still waiting on this switch panel, but I decided to put it back on just in case I need to drive it today, which I do need to drive it today. Yeah, I'm just going to drive it just like this. I'm not going to put the tombstone on until I get the new switch panel and get that all changed out. But you see here, I've got everything else back together. I've got the top piece on, I got the glove box in, I've got the speaker covers on, everything's bolted in, and I've only got a few extra bolts left. So I think I did a good job. I mean, I seem to always just have leftover parts. You see here, the old shift boot, you can see this is a shifter size hole in it. So the mechanic, when they did the clutch, they also couldn't remove the shift knob, so they just pulled it straight through here. And that's why this is torn. So it's going in the trash. So next up, I have to get everything under the hood sorted out, and then I'll be able to drive this thing. I mean, technically I could drive it without sorting out underneath the hood, but I really want to get everything bolted up properly. I want to get the new dryer installed, and I want to get this weird piece put back in. Well, as you could probably imagine, the AC line routing is not exactly intuitive, but I managed to get it back together thanks to looking at some pictures on the internet. The bracket was probably, I would have to say, one of the worst parts of this job. It was just because, you know, it's suspended in this bracket. You need to turn the canister around in order to position it correctly, and then the bracket gets loose, it falls down, and it's just like, it becomes a little bit of a pain. But that said, it's not that bad. I was able to put it back together just fine. I got this weird plastic thing on behind the valve cover. Not exactly sure what it does other than collect garbage. Yeah, that's in, that's on, and it's secured. I went to put the radiator hoses on to the new heater core, but more of this crap kept falling out of it, so I decided I don't want this crap going into my brand new heater core. So I'm going to go ahead and throw out those hoses, order new ones, and put new hoses on when they arrive. So because I'm waiting on a new blower motor, I'm waiting on a new switch panel, and now I'm waiting on hoses and a shift knob. Let's go ahead and just put the battery in, and I can drive it around for the day. While I was out today, I received more parts. So I got the new fan and the new HVAC controls, along with a new wiring harness. That all arrived, and I figure since there's plenty of time left in the day, and this is fairly easy to install, I'm going to go ahead and make that happen. I also realized that I forgot to find a home for the microphone, so that is something that is also easy to do, and especially while things are apart, I can make that happen pretty quickly. So let's get right back to work. Hoses arrived, and I've got them installed. You see I've got the in and the out line properly run. There are no leaks. The coolant you see that's splattered everywhere is from the bypass line. So there's nothing weird going on here. I did have to fill up the radiator just a little bit because, as you can imagine, there was a bit more capacity added to the system. So let's go take a look inside the Jeep. And I've got the main fan off because, as you can imagine, with a 3-row radiator, it takes a couple thousand years for it to warm up. But I can already feel the hot air coming out of the heater system. So that's really good news for me. There is no leaks inside the car, which is also good. I would be very surprised if a brand new heater core leaked inside the car. And we've got everything back together. I've got the new switch panel on. I've got the radio in. The microphone is right there. And all I am missing is the ashtray. The ashtray is sitting on my bench. I am having trouble getting that back in, so I'm just going to skip it for now. And there is a missing fastener at the back of that cavity there. But otherwise, this is project done, mission accomplished. So that is project done and mission accomplished for me. I am not going to recharge the AC system just yet. I'm probably not going to do it for a couple of months just because the hot season is over. And first of all, I'm going to be more concerned with the cold. Second, I got to get financially stable. I've been spending a lot of money on things, so I'm just going to try to cool off on spending money just so that once I do get around to filling the AC, I can do it comfortably without having to sweat my bank account. So that's it for now. Thank you so much for watching. If you like what you see, like, share, subscribe, comment. If you don't like what you see, also leave a comment because I want to hear your thoughts on this. If you think this really is the worst job you've ever done on a car, I want to hear from you. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week.